Chidi Adeyemi had everything: a face that sold products without trying, a voice that stopped scrolling thumbs mid-feed, millions of followers who believed his curated life was real. At 29, he had built himself into something his late father would have been proud of, or so his mother told him every single day. Gloria Adeyemi was not a woman you disappointed. She had sacrificed everything to build the Adeyemi name from nothing, from dust, from grief, from a widow's stubbornness. Every decision Chidi made reflected on her. Every woman he dated was a referendum on her legacy, and she made sure he never forgot it. So when Chidi fell in love with Ngozi Okafor, he knew two things with certainty. She was the realest person he had ever met, and his mother would destroy her. Ngozi delivered food to his door one ordinary Tuesday, and something happened that Chidi could not explain to himself or anyone else. She didn't know his follower count. She didn't smile the way girls smiled when they recognized him, that particular smile that mixed hunger and calculation. She just handed him his food, told him the total, and waited. Something about her stillness undid him completely. He tried to forget her, told himself it was just novelty, a girl who didn't want anything from him. But she stayed in his mind like a song he couldn't name, present in the background of every meeting, every shoot, every moment. He found her restaurant, showed up, asked for her specifically. She refused to look at him like he was special. He came back the next day, and the day after that. Ngozi had grown up learning that pride was the only currency available to the poor. Her parents had nothing to leave her except the dignity of knowing your own worth, and she had decided very early that no man with money would ever make her feel like a charity case, not even a very handsome, very persistent one. She told her friend about him the same night he first appeared. Her friend screamed so loud the neighbors knocked. "Noble Banks asked you out and you said nothing?" "I said something. I said I was busy." "Ngozi! Ngozi!" She laughed for the first time in weeks, and later, alone in her small room, she let herself think about his eyes, the way they watched her like she was the most interesting thing in any room. She called him that night. He answered on the first ring. For 3 months, they existed in the secret pocket of a relationship that belonged entirely to them. No announcements, no photographs, no public acknowledgement. Just two people discovering that they fit together in ways neither had expected. He taught her that wealthy people were often lonelier than poor ones. She taught him that contentment was a skill, not a circumstance. He told her about his father's death, something he had never discussed publicly. She held the story carefully, like something fragile. She told him about her dropout shame, the secondary school she'd left at 15 when the fees became impossible. He listened without wincing, without the pity that felt like contempt. They were, quietly and dangerously, falling in love. But the world outside their pocket had not disappeared. Gloria Adeyemi had eyes everywhere, the way mothers do. She noticed her son's mood had changed, lighter, distracted, the particular distraction of a man who had somewhere better to be. She pressed, he deflected. She pressed harder. One evening she simply said, "Bring her." Chidi's blood ran cold. He spent 2 weeks trying to prepare Ngozi, warned her about Gloria's questions, her standards, her ability to dissect a person down to their foundations in under 10 minutes. Ngozi listened carefully, nodded, and said she wasn't afraid. She should have been afraid. Gloria received Ngozi the way a judge receives a defendant, with the appearance of fairness and the predetermined verdict already written. Within 5 minutes, she had extracted everything: the state Ngozi came from, her father's occupation, her education, or rather, the absence of it. "You dropped out," Gloria said. Not a question, a sentence. "Secondary school, Ma. Things happened." "Things happened," Gloria repeated it slowly, tasting every word. "I see." She called Ngozi a nobody without using the word directly. She implied it with the particular cruelty of a woman who had learned to wound without leaving visible marks. Chidi sat through it, shame burning his face, until he could bear it no longer. "Enough, Mom." He took Ngozi's hand and led her out. Gloria watched them leave and began to plan. That night, alone in his room, Chidi stared at the ceiling and made a decision that would take months to fully understand. He was not going to lose Ngozi, but he also knew that his mother would not stop. She would make their lives impossible. She would use every tool available to her, guilt, legacy, money, family pressure, until Ngozi walked away or broke apart. Unless she believed there was something she could not afford to lose. He knew her mother, knew her obsessions, knew that for all her talk of legacy and name and class, what she truly feared was the Adeyemi bloodline ending with her only son. The idea came to him the way terrible ideas always come, quietly and with the feeling of perfect logic. He would tell Ngozi she was pregnant. He told Ngozi first. She stared at him. "You want to tell your mother I'm carrying your child?" Just to buy us time, to make her stop, once she accepts you, once she sees who you really are, and when she finds out there's no baby? By then, she'll love you, she'll understand. Ngozi was quiet for a very long time. Or, Chidi added, voice dropping to something gentle and reckless, "We could actually try." She should have said no. She wanted to say no. She said, "Okay." Gloria's reaction was everything Chidi had predicted. The fury evaporated like water on a hot pan. In its place came something more dangerous, obsessive, possessive joy. The Adeyemi bloodline would continue. All her labor, all her sacrifice, all her suffering, it would mean something beyond her own life. She pulled Ngozi into her arms with a warmth that left Ngozi breathless. Overnight, the nobody became precious. The dropout became the vessel carrying the future. What followed was the most suffocating kindness Ngozi had ever experienced. Special diets that tasted like cardboard, prenatal yoga classes at 6 in the morning, supplements lined up like soldiers. No standing for too long, no processed food, no stress, no leaving the house without supervision. Gloria monitored her with the intensity of a scientist protecting a rare specimen. And every day, Ngozi wore the fake belly under her elegant maternity clothes. Every night, she and Chidi tried desperately to make the lie true. Every morning, she woke up hating herself a little more. The nausea started 6 weeks in. For one terrifying, miraculous moment, she thought it had worked. But the stomach pains that followed were wrong, twisting and burning in ways that had nothing to do with pregnancy. She slipped out of the house while Gloria was occupied, went to a private clinic far from the family doctor, and waited in a plastic chair for results that would change everything. The doctor sat across from her with the careful face of someone preparing to deliver news they have delivered too many times. "Miss Ngozi, what you're experiencing aligns with premature ovarian insufficiency, early menopause." The walls moved. "I'm 25. "I know. It's rare, less than 1% of women under 30, but the symptoms are consistent and the test results confirm." "I can never get pregnant?" He paused. "It would be extremely unlikely, yes." She sat very still. She sat so still that the doctor asked twice if she was all right. She said yes. She was not all right. She didn't tell Chidi that night. She lay beside him, listening to him sleep, and thought about all the versions of her future she had quietly built in her imagination. The children she had named without telling anyone. The life she had been constructing in the dark, in secret, the way poor people build dreams, quietly so they don't attract the attention of the universe. She thought about Gloria's face when the belly was revealed as fake. She thought about Chidi's face when he learned the truth. She decided she would carry it alone, at least for a little longer. She smiled through breakfast. She smiled through yoga. She smiled through another round of supplements that meant nothing. She smiled until her face forgot how to stop. 3 weeks later, Gloria announced the ultrasound appointment. "Tomorrow," she said. "No delays. I want to see the heartbeat." Ngozi's floor disappeared beneath her feet. Chidi found her in the bathroom, hands gripping the sink, face bloodless. "We have to tell her," she whispered. "Not yet. Listen to me. We stage a miscarriage, get some blood from the pharmacy, wake up in the morning, it ends cleanly. She'll be devastated, but she'll recover, and then we tell her the truth about everything. And if she throws me out?" "She won't." She looked at him. "I don't know that, Chidi." Neither did he. They never got the chance to execute the plan. Gloria walked into the bedroom when